Welcome to Heroes and Droids, your guide to movies and TV shows about superheroes, sci-fi, Disney, and action. From Marvel to DC, from Star Wars to Star Trek, from James Bond to the Fast and the Furious. We will give you a review of theatrical films and streaming delights you care about most. This week we're reviewing She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Episode 5. I'm your host, Doc Rat, and joining me tonight is award-winning filmmaker Christopher G. Moore. Christopher, how you doing, sir?
Doing good. I just got back from the drip broker to get me my discounted Morbius shoes, but other than that, I'm doing good.
Oh man, did you get a costume? Did you go somewhere and get a costume yet?
No.
They won't let us in the door.
The Avengers costumes. Yeah.
The Avengers. Oh, the fun. All right. Well, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to give you our first impressions of episode 5. That will be spoiler free, and then we'll dive into discussion, which will contain spoilers and maybe top 10 Easter eggs. And then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. And of course, we hope you enjoy not only this review, but many others that we have on the site. And if you do, hit the subscribe, the like button, or share with a friend. And of course, we'd love to hear your comments down below. So let's get the ball rolling. Let's take a look at the card and see if I messed something up. I'm sure I did somewhere. She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Disney Plus, Season 1, Episode 5, September 15th, 2022, titled Mean Green and Straight Poured Into These Jeans. Directed by Anu Valia, written by Dana Schwartz, based on characters created by Stan Lee and John Buscema. Cast includes Tatiana Maslany, Ginger Gonzaga, Zaga, thank you, Jamil, and John Bass. Good God, I can't even say the easy name. John Bass. It's easy, and I messed it up. All right, the synopsis. She-Hulk discovers Titania owns the name She-Hulk and is suing her for trademark infringement. Yep. That's the plot. Right. What, sir, was your first impression of She-Hulk Episode 5?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm really enjoying this show in general. It's just a fun show with, all these wacky characters she comes across, and it's not just her having to defend other people. Now she's having to find people to defend herself in this episode. So, and even the side characters get some really fun sort of side ventures, and also just how it sort of opens up doors for other characters to pop up soon. So, I'm also just enjoying that, because the She-Hulk comic is very self-referential and very meta and breaking the fourth wall. We also have, Marvel making fun of itself and the merchandise that these bootleggers put out there and stuff. So, I'm really enjoying the show, and Tatiana Maslany I think is great. Also, I'm added to my crush list. Titania, the actress who plays Titania, who I loved on the Good Place. She's really doing a great job in sort of making fun of those sort of social media influencers and that kind of stuff, hamming it up, playing that character, and also just how like a superhero would probably be a very good influencer. Everybody wants to be, like a superhero. So I love that kind of nature of that. How she's got to battle this girl who's sort of taking her name and taking her quote for her. So I'm really enjoying the show, enjoying the humor of it. I think that my main negative is that we don't get an end credit.
We didn't get an end credit. I was
and everybody. I think that's one thing. The one takeaway everybody had. It's like, I feel very sad. We're just so used to that, just that's it. You just throw anything out. There's some outtakes in there. I'll be okay with that. I'm really
totally was hanging.
I know.
Well, for me, so I'm enjoying the show, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of it. And of course, this one is. There's a lot of reasons this episode exists, but while I enjoyed it, it's not my favorite. I feel like this is a little bit of a step down from the previous 4. I didn't enjoy it as much. There's no real action scene, which is fine. And I enjoyed some of the setup, but as far as, I don't know, it just didn't appeal to me as much as the other thing. But if you compared this to like sitcoms, that's par for the course, right? Not every sitcom's going to land with every audience member, and this just didn't land well with me. I don't hate it by any stretch of the imagination, but the first 4 were far more appealing, and I'm looking forward to the next one. The tease for the next one, I think I'm going to love it. So
I do love how every episode they kind of changed the title of the show to go along with where her life is or what's happening to her. I do like that. I do love that, how they, every time the title is different, you know, whether she's looking for a job or she gets a job, or now, like, you know, She-Hulk by Titania, you know. I kind of like that, how they're just having so much fun with the show.
Yeah, and I love the artwork at the end too. You know, the way
but I can understand. I can understand the issue. I mean, there is, I guess you could call it maybe a little repetitive nature of it, because we sort of get the callbacks from like the dating app episode. So, but I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I mean, the main thing is I know this is a situational comedy, so there, you know, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, the biggest things happen in it. But I loved a lot of the new characters. More so than some of the other characters that popped up in other episodes. So
yeah, well, let's definitely jump into the spoilers. Before we get to the actual Easter eggs, I do want to say that, you know, this is, while I didn't enjoy this episode as much, it really is important for 2 reasons. One, She-Hulk takes ownership of her own name. You know, so up until this, she's going, "Oh, I don't want to be She-Hulk." Well, now she is She-Hulk. So it's an important arc. You know, jump in her arc, her longer arc throughout the series. So, I mean, it has relevance in that respect. And of course, it also introduces the costume maker guy, and that was hilarious. So now we know she's going to get some costumes. I think right now she just got like stretchy costumes for being in the lawyer outfits, but I think there is a new one coming. We've seen it in the commercial.
He made something special for her, as he said. So, and we know what the outfit's going to look like if you've seen trailers. So.
Yep. And of course, there is a hat box that certainly hints that yes, a little Daredevil that's heading our way. So that's going to be exciting, which may have just stolen one of your wonderful Easter eggs. So why don't you start off with that? What are the Easter eggs that you have, sir?
Well, actually, you know, one of the Easter eggs is we always talk about, there's always a barcode in every episode.
Yes.
And when they go to the boba tea restaurant, on the right wall, there's a barcode. And if you scan that barcode, it takes you to She-Hulk number 10 from the Dan Slott series, and which is a Titania story, and actually has the origin story of Titania.
Oh,
so yeah, if you want more information about how she was in the comics, you can go read that issue for free.
That's awesome.
Also, the Avengers, or Avengers Avengers merch, of course, is all slightly off. And so I'm going to go through all the different things, how it's kind of off, or how it kind of plays with certain things, so they don't get like sued by the Avengers, I guess. Thor is Thur, Thur, and he has a shovel instead of a hammer. Hulk is Hulk, Holk, and Hulk is purple and has a mustache. And the beach towel has him wearing the Borat bikini, which is so wrong.
Oh no, that's terribly wrong.
Yes. Cap's shield is actually the actual 60s Avengers shield. It's Avengers number 4 shield that he had. So but it's not the one in the current MCU. So Iron Man is just known as Iron. And his coloring is opposite than what he normally has, and he has an arrow on his chest instead of like a circle. Hawkeye is known as Hawk Guy,
Hulk guy.
and he has an arrow. At the end of his arrow is an eagle claw or a hawk claw, I guess. Let's see. Cap's outfit has eagle on his head, on his chest, and on his shield, an eagle. Black Widow has a scorpion on her chest for some reason. So those are the Avengers merch. You can. I'm wondering if they start selling this merch at like Avengers Campus in LA, or if you can get it online maybe at some point.
Avengers.
I'd wear that. And actually, we sort of got a preview of that in the previous end credit sequence, because there's a part where she has like a mug that has Avengers on it. So I always wonder why that was spelled wrong, but now we know. Because there's bootleg people in this universe. They're canon now.
The bootleg people are canon.
They are. Jen and Nikki, when they first walk into Luke Jacobson's superhero costume maker office or whatever, there's a guy that walks by them with a hanger of clothing, and you know who that is?
No, who was it?
Eugene Patilio, who is the son of the guy who ended up being like Frogman or Leap Man, or whichever one version, I guess, who ends up taking on that moniker and wearing that suit later on in the comics, taking on the identity of his father. And we sort of know that Frogman or League Man or whatever they're going to call him is going to pop up sometime in this series. So he actually, if you go and watch that scene, he actually goes, he doesn't know how to get out because he goes to the door and is like, okay, that way. So, but you don't see his face, but the actor who plays him is that. So we get sort of a preview for that. Of course, we get Luke Jacobson, the drip broker, I guess he is. Although he said Alonzo was a drip broker, so maybe this is the connection to the drip broker. But Luke Jacobson, who's like the Edna Mode of the MCU, actually is based on an actual character from Marvel called famous designer from Marvel Comics by the same name, who is award-winning designer and fashion mogul that popped up in the North Dakota comics.
Oh,
from
wow.
the 80s.
Okay.
So he is actual fashion designer. So from the Marvel Comics universe. Of course, you sort of kind of revealed it earlier, but we get the end of that whole episode where he's like, "Why are you letting this out for people to see?" You know, the mask in the hat box, of course, is Daredevil's new outfit mask. And actually, if for briefly when he walks by, you can sort of see a little bit of his outfit hanging on the hanger.
Oh, really? Okay. Cool.
But his outfit, of course, has a little bit of the yellow coloring, which was actually his original outfit in the comics. Was loosely based on, I think, because I think his father was a boxer that had like yellow boxers, and so so we get a little bit of that sort of hint at him showing up. So evidently, and also it says on it it's for pickup. So we know that Daredevil is going to be in LA. So they're going to run across from each other. And evidently they did at the D23, they did show a scene between her and him where she like breaks the fourth wall talking about, I want to get me some Daredevil. Or well, I don't think she says that, but she says something to that where she's being flirty. Let's see. If you pay attention, of course, a lot of the fun now is they add new little artwork to the end credit sequence. And we have Pug shows off his shoe collection. Of course, you know, we've mentioned in previous Easter eggs, there's these Iron Man 3 shoes that keep showing up in advertisements and different things. And in this universe, there's different shoes for a lot of the superheroes in this universe. And there's a lot of cool Easter eggs. And I'm going to name off a lot of them because I've actually gone through different Easter egg YouTube videos, and some have had different ones. So I'm assuming a lot of these there might be a few that maybe just people think the coloring is for one or another. So here's all the ones that people notice. There's one based on Captain America, Deadpool, Black Panther, Cyclops. So we
Cyclops,
we get a little X-Men. There's one that has coloring that could either be Hawkeye or the Bishop from the Hawkeye show. There's also one that that people think that could either be X-Men's Bishop or it could be Miss Marvel. So the coloring on that could be either way. There's one of Captain Marvel, Green Goblin. There's one that people think might be Spider-Man, but actually the coloring on it is more Scarlet Spider. Moon Knight. There's one that people think because it has I think it has a spade or it has like a card designation on it that some people think might be Gambit, but most people think it has the coloring of Jack of Hearts, which actually showed up in the She-Hulk comics.
Ooh, interesting.
Falcon, Nova, Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange. There's one that has coloring similar to Juggernaut. Speedball, Namor, Sentry, Cable, Electro, Hulk, and Doctor Doom. So that might be that. Some of those might be people thinking different things, but that's the majority of. So majority of them have been named, but again, I've seen multiple things online, so I just listed them all, and you can look for in your leisure time. When she's driving and she sees the big billboard, she's actually listening to a real podcast. She's listening to, let's see, I think it's Law 360's Pro Say, which covers news and analysis on law and the legal industry. That's a real podcast, so it's kind of cool that they got a real podcast mentioned or she's listening to in the MCU. So that podcast is an official MCU podcast.
Now it's canon.
I know. There's one thing that people think is a Batman joke, because when Luke Jacobson, when he walks past this dummy that has a black it's like a black muscular suit that has nipples on it, so people think that's a reference to the bat nipple suit from Batman Forever. So maybe he made the bat nipple suit for that film. Let's see. Holloway, when he tells She-Hulk that she needs to nip this trademark of her name in the bud, he makes a reference to the associated product Booty Boost smoothies, and if you watch the end credits, we get to see that the reason he mentioned that is because he actually bought the product and is looking at his booty in the mirror. So he acts very negatively about it, but evidently he tried it, and somebody's walking by outside noticed him looking at his butt in the mirror. So let's see.
Hilarious. I gotta look at those things closer.
Yeah. And also one of Jen's dates, actually the one that she hooked up with and didn't like her as her non-She-Hulk persona, he says that She-Hulk is incredible, which is a callback to Jen saying that everyone calls her incredible, which is also a reference to the Incredible Hulk in general. So but anyway, those are the top 10 ones that I noticed that I when I perused the internet trying to find all the different ones that put out.
Very good. Those are always so much fun. I need to watch those end credit watercolor things a little bit more. I just enjoy their whimsy, but they're actually hidden stuff in it.
They're hidden, and you get. I mean, I think in the end credits, you see her brother selling the She-Hulk merchandise that she signed, and nice. There's little. I mean, they have all the repeats ones, but then there's ones that they deal with the current episode and stuff. So,
yeah. So I don't know what to talk about this one because to me, not much happened other than the very top level stuff. So what am I missing? There's got to be something in here that is there that I'm just totally not catching other than.
Well, I mean, I think the main thing is we just came off an episode where they battled demons from another world. So it's not exactly going to be, as action packed or have the crazy, Madison
I miss Madison. I was
I
with
do miss her
Madison.
too. Yeah. So I mean, I hope they'll come back at some point, but I think this is kind of, you know, I think it's kind of straightforward, and also you just have her sort of having to deal with someone else defending her, and her also having to embarrass herself. Although I did find it very funny her when she had to read out all of her like her matcher profile stuff, which the title of the episode is based on what she put in her Tinder.
Yep,
Where
that's
she
right.
also mentioned like that she has a good back and a strong, you know, bed structure. So, but I don't know. I mean, I think we also have to understand, a lot of these episodes are just them going to trial. So I think sometimes that can be boring for some people doing trial type stuff, you know? So, I think that not everything's going to be like, fighting type stuff. So, so I don't know. I don't think there has to be anything missed. I think it's just, every episode is going to attack some kind of thing. We also have like, you know, regardless of it being a situational comedy, we do have the arc of her having to come to terms, like you mentioned earlier, of her identity, of this new part of her identity that she's got to be okay with, you know, and but also that shows her strength. You know, have a lot of these people that don't want to show their flaws, and she had to use her flaws and her situation that might be embarrassing to a lot of people and to herself, but also to show strength that she allows that to put that out there, you know, to strengthen her, you know, who she is.
Yeah, and you like Titania too, right? So.
Well, I love Titania. I love her. I just love her. Yeah, I mean, I just love it. You know, it's sort of similar to the magician people from previously. You know, she's just this big, crazy character who's, you know, the embodiment of a lot of these influencers. And actually, it's kind of funny. The actress who played this, she posts a lot of stuff online about how influencers give you false information and are not who they make themselves out to be, and they trick you. You know, like they mentioned that she's selling like snake venom makeup or something, and how it's like snake oil, like Jen says. This is literally snake oil, and she's literally a snake oil salesman. She's all about the. I mean, even when the guy's like, "Hey, you want to go on a date?" It's like, "Go buy me something." So she's very self-centered, and I love the look of her. I love how she always puts all these weird things on her, you know, like little dots and stuff, you know, with the makeup and stuff. It's just the wig they use and her outfits she wears. That she went on a TikTok recently and or I saw an interview that she talked about how she speaks purposely, and how, you know, she slows down how she speaks. So she's doing an American accent in this. So, but yeah, I don't know. To me, it's like I don't go into this expecting a lot of flash and circumstance, or a lot of weird pomp and circumstance.
Pomp and circumstance.
There doesn't necessarily have to be a lot of big things happening. I'm just kind of enjoying her, because I mean, literally, she's like, it's like Seinfeld. It's like, I keep thinking, do you not lock your door? I know you're She-Hulk, but maybe you should lock your door when when every family member comes to, like Kramer in Seinfeld in her house. But also we're sort of getting a build up to, because there's supposed, you know, in the comics, there's a real animosity that happens with her and the lawyer that defends her. And so, you know, we'll see if, because also we have that Todd guy who I feel like is,
Todd was back. Yeah, he was on the stand.
Who is what's the guy, the millionaire guy played Iron Man. He's sort of like a version of him. You know, he's almost like an evil Elon Musk type character. And so you kind of wonder if maybe he had something to do with the whole Wrecking Crew. Maybe he has some kind of, and you know, because he was there to see her, but why? If he's not a superhero, so he's got some kind of connection, or maybe he has a connection to the leader. You know, maybe the leader will pop up into this series. Consider the connection that it has to the Hulk.
Yep. Well, all things for speculation.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things in here. I think even when it's just for comedy, they are laying the ground for other stuff that could happen later on in the series.
Definitely.
But I know I'm really enjoying it. I'm really getting a kick out of Titania and her craziness. But also it's also kind of, if you watch the sort of end of the trial thing, Titania Maslany, I'm calling her Titania. Tatiana, confusing with Titania. Just the facial expressions she makes when she's having to like come to the realization, especially when the guy's like, I like She-Hulk, she's incredible, but Jen not so much, and it's kind of sad that she wants to be her real self, but people like She-Hulk much better, and so it'd be kind of sad if you had that side of yourself everybody likes, but you want people to like you for, you like they say, you want people to like you for your outside and your inside, who you are.
Definitely. All right, let's go ahead and wrap things up with our score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene. Christopher, you start us off.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the show. I mean, to me, it's just a fun situation comedy. Actually, I mean, maybe also this episode is the shortest of the episodes so far as well.
Oh, is it? So, I didn't realize that.
So maybe that kind of makes it seem lesser or whatever. But I love the introduction of the drip broker, being this sort of Edna Mode of this universe, because we always wonder, like, where do these people get these crazy, well done costumes, and just to have somebody in that universe that can create anything you want is pretty cool. I love the relationship between Pug and Nikki.
Yes.
When they're doing the little dance thing. So there's a lot of really fun moments in this, and some heartfelt moments as well. It's not the most exciting of the episodes, but it's still good. I'll give this a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Probably not as high as I guess the last one. The last one had more craziness, but I still enjoyed it. I'm still making me laugh and giggle, and I'm still loving the She-Hulk, Jen's character in the series, and I'm really I'm just also excited to see where it goes from here. But I love the expansion of the universe and all these wacky characters that pop up each week. So as for favorite scene, I don't know. I'll say when they meet up with the drip broker or what's his name? Luke Jacobson, the Edna Mode of the universe. I kind of like his character, this big fashion guy who makes outfits for. And actually, if you pay attention, there's different outfits that some people are trying to figure out, like what are these random Marvel characters he might be, because there's one of them almost like a Wonder Woman type outfit. And there's another one with like feathers, and so everybody's trying to figure out, what are all these different characters he's making stuff for. So we may have to pay attention if we ever go back to that. So yeah, that's probably my favorite scene is when they meet up with him, because he's so funny. Because when he looks at her, he's not commenting on how she looks. She's commenting on what she's wearing.
Yeah, I know. And of course, he's got that dumpy outfit because she's.
Yeah, but
she grows and drinks and drinks. That was awesome.
She could have more form-fitting stuff.
Yep.
In the next episode, look for that.
Get a lot of fabric.
She can twerk in better.
There you go. As I mentioned, this one, while I'm still enjoying the series and I had a lot of fun with this one, to me it was a drop. So 3.5 for me on this. My favorite scene, you mentioned it. I almost thought you were going to take it, which is the Pug and Nikki scene when they're outside trying to find out where Luke Jacobson is and where they can meet him, and they're trying to get approval for that, and they have like some of the the Avengers stuff, and the whole thing was a blast, and they got all excited, and he goes, I can still see you. So that was my favorite part. Those are my favorite characters in this episode, so I had a lot of fun with that. All right, well, there you go. That's our review for She-Hulk episode 5. We have 4 more episodes to go. This will go well into October, so it's gonna be.
Do you think they're gonna make shoes now?
I don't know if they're gonna make shoes. Probably.
I wonder if Nike or Reebok or somebody's watching this,
making some shoes.
Because I'm sure some people want some Iron Man 3s.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd like some Doctor Strange ones.
Well, that's it for this. Be sure to check us back, and of course, Andor is starting, and we'll be reviewing that as well. Somehow, we'll find the time.
And or
Christopher, thank you for joining me. This was a lot of fun.
It's always fun. Let's can't wait to see what happens next.
All right, let's say goodnight.
Good night.